Winter had arrived early, the deer-hunting season had ended, and most birds had migrated on. But brown hares had been spotted in the valley, eating what was left of the local farmer's harvest. Early that morning, Lord Archibald Ainsworth took it upon himself to rid the rodents, and save what was left of the food for the valley's residents. The sun had not yet risen as a 10-year-old Patrick Ainsworth put on his winter boots and thick cloak. Full of excitement, his grandfather had promised he could accompany him hunting this time. Running down the halls of Summerset Manor, pushing his mother's bedroom door open to see Lady Edina was still asleep. His parents had never shared a bedroom, and for Patrick, this was normal. He continued, pushing past the slowly waking house full of servants as they started their duties for the day. He met his grandfather, Lord Archibald Ainsworth, down at the fields, armed with a long rifle and gunpowder in a small pouch. Patrick's father, Jonathan, passed them carrying several heavy papers. "Be mindful and respectful of your grandfather," said his father coldly. "Are you coming out with us, son?" asked Archibald. "No, I have work to do," he replied, heading back indoors. "You are always working," yelled young Patrick, but his father ignored him. "Come along, Patrick. Mr. Holt is waiting for us down at the creek," said his grandfather. Lord Ainsworth had started to show his true age in the last few months, as his breathing had slowed, his muscles had weakened, and it was clear, not just to himself, but to others, that his days were numbered. The next Lord Ainsworth, his only son, Jonathan, had taken over the estate dealings, giving his father time to himself. Archibald had regretted not spending more time with his son when the boy was younger. Their relationship had become fractured and distant over the decades. Making up for lost time, he turned to his only grandchild in hopes of forming new memories. The two Ainsworths walked along the creek to see a young blond man no more than 25. Mr. Edward Holt was waiting and standing beside a beautiful mare, with his gun strapped to his shoulder. "What a beautiful morning," said Archibald, as he breathed heavily down the slope to the creek. Holt took his master's hand, greeting him with a smile. "Yes," he replied. "It snowed heavily last night." Holt looked down at Patrick, who was shaking from the winter cold. "And how are you this morning, young master? Have you remembered what you learnt on our last hunt?" "Do not encourage the boy, Holt," said Archibald with a shake of his head as he loaded the gunpowder into the barrel of the gun. Lord Ainsworth never let Patrick hold the firearm, as he was too short to carry the long, large and heavy weapon, but let him carry the dead corpses of the large hares. The sun had fully risen as the party continued deeper into the woods. "How much longer, grandfather?" Patrick wheezed, struggling to carry the hares by their long, floppy ears. Their blood dripped on the floor of the white snow, leaving a trail. With every step, the snow had made it harder to walk on. "Wait, boy," said his grandfather. Loading his gun again at the sight of another hare, readying his aim, but his weak hands slipped at the pull of the trigger. "Blast!" roared the old man. The hare hopped away unharmed, with no awareness of its mortality. Mr. Holt came to Archibald's side, taking the heavy gun from his master's weak hands.